Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, Jeff Trunapole. And as always, I'm bringing you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio, home of my Cincinnati Bengals. Now, do me a favor, if you found the show, smash that thumbs up, hit that like and subscribe button. I am over 700 now, 703 subscribers. That is awesome. I greatly appreciate all you guys. Now, this show and every show is brought to you by T Properties. T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out their website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. All right, it's a Friday show, so it's Strawberry Ice and Bengals Nation. I'm going to bring in my boy, Jeremy Dean, who has thrown it down, put his name on the line, and said, I guarantee the Bengals are going to beat the football team in Washington. What's up, Jeremy?
Guaranteed it, man. How you been, buddy?
Good, brother. Good, brother. It's Friday, man.
Yep, that's right. Nothing better than Friday night, Bengal night, and playing Washington on Sunday. I did guarantee the game. I stick by it. I will take all of the bashing on Monday that anybody wants to send my way if we do lose. But my guarantee came because of this. This is we have the Giants and the Dolphins, I guess you could say, but this is kind of the game that's going to separate us and show the rest of the NFL that we are not at the bottom of the barrel.
Right.
We're not the worst team in the NFL. We have won 2 games, which is bad, but still.
Right.
And this is a game we should win. And some of those games you should win. You got to win. So I'm throwing my horse and buggy behind Joe Burrow and AJ Green, and we're going to win this Sunday. We're going to take care of things.
Exactly. Now, this would be kind of cool. You can watch the number 1 and number 2 pick overall going at each other. Your Ohio State Buckeye, well, my Ohio State Buckeye too. Chase Young versus Joe freaking Burrow. So it'll be interesting to see those two go at it during the game. Now, I got some interesting stats here. The Bengals are 4-0 versus the Washington football team in the last 4 games that they've played. So that's good. Now, 7 of the 10 times these two teams have met, the game has been decided by 7 or fewer points. Now, my feeling, I'm with you, Jeremy. I don't think this game is going to be close or even should be close. I mean, I know Alex Smith has been playing pretty good. And what's the wide receiver we were just talking about in the pre-show fist fight? Who's balling out for him?
Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, I know he's balling out, but dude, I've said this all year. 2 things I've said. We got, as long as you protect Joe Burrow, you're good. And then you got to get pressure on their quarterback. And somehow Armadillo has got to figure out how to get pressure on his quarterback. Now, I know he's blowing up on Bengals Nation that Carlos Dunlap has had some really good games in Seattle. And people are like, oh, this is Zach Taylor's fault. Let's see what happens. Like, people, he was not doing this in Cincinnati. He was not going to play like this in Cincinnati. He was given the opportunity to do this. He didn't do it. So it didn't matter what Zach did. I mean, I guess you could fire Zach Taylor for one player,
Yeah.
But that's not really how you run a good organization. So people keep going, oh, it's Zach Taylor's fault. I don't agree with that. I mean, yes, him and Zach didn't get along, so move on, and people say we got hosed. I still don't think we got hosed. We gave a player up who was doing nothing for us. We got a 7th round pick. They took all of his money. Plus we got another offensive lineman, which how many times has Bengals fans this year and you and me on this show say, we need offensive linemen. We need offensive linemen. Well, we got one. He hasn't played yet, but who cares? The biggest thing is we got rid of the cancer, and that's what I think Carlos was, a cancer in the locker room. And we got rid of his money, which is even better, so we don't owe him anything. So right. I just don't get the narrative where people are like, oh, this is Zach Taylor's fault, and Carlos could be the pass rusher he's always been. but he wasn't. He flat wasn't. And I try to speak facts. I know I'm very optimistic, but I try to speak facts. Facts are he was not playing like this, and the facts are he was given the opportunity to do it. He just didn't.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And the fact of the matter is Dunlap did, after all these years of him being a Bengals cheerleader and
He's a leader on the team.
and a leader on the field, but
right
in the community, how he turned in 1 year is a little bit odd to me. But you know what? He went to Seattle. They play a different defense than we do. I wish we played those styles of defense. We were supposed to this year.
Well, yeah, we're not sure what style defense we play yet. Armadillo hasn't decided yet, I don't think.
Yeah, we were talking about that during the pre-show fist fight there. Yeah, right. Same. We don't know what we're getting out of Cincinnati.
Right.
With the Seahawks, you're getting a defense that's coming at you most of the game. And I believe that's what hurts the Bengals, because we don't come after you most of the game. But if we do, we end up bouncing off the quarterback, or another player knocks him in the next week, and they're all laying on the floor. Next thing you know, you got a quarterback running 25. Yeah. I mean, just it's amazing. So the Dunlap stuff, whatever, I've wished him well. I wished him well when he left.
I mean, I thought he would go there and do good. I really did. I mean, I didn't know, but I kind of figured he would give his best effort because if he goes there and he falls flat on his face, nobody's going to give him any money.
No, yeah, that's right. And he's 31, 32, something like that. So, it isn't like we're losing somebody that we're going to have for the next decade that we just horribly lost because we're cheap and our organization don't want to pay money. And that's not it at all. We're looking at a guy in his young 30s trying to rush after a passer, and that doesn't get any easier, especially the way his style is anyway.
Right. All right. Guess people checking in. Dennis.
What up? Joe Burrow, he needs this win for all the haters that said he shouldn't have been the number one, that Chase Young should have been the number one, and the Bengals beat the Washington team. There you go. Funny thing is, I don't hear anybody saying that anymore.
Not anymore. No.
Nobody's saying that anymore. I think Joe Burrow's pretty much proven the Bengals did the right thing. We got Landon checking in. We will win the Washington no-name Who Dey.
Yeah.
There you go. Exactly.
That's right. That's what they are. Yeah.
So Joe Mixon, I guess, is out again this week, unfortunately. Who else is out? You got I got to sneeze.
Yeah. Of course, Mixon's still out. He wants to play. They're not allowing him. And we've talked about this in the past on other shows, how when we sign free agents, they seem to always get injured. Right. So we've got Trey Waynes not played a snap for us. We gave him multi-million-dollar deal. We've got DJ Reader sitting on the bench, multi-mega-million-dollar deal. Now we just signed Margus Hunt back to Cincinnati again, which okay.
Yeah. He did something like the first game, but hasn't done anything since then.
Exactly. He is questionable. Fred Johnson is questionable, which he's questionable anyway in my mind. Alex Redmond, he's questionable, which in my mind he's questionable too.
Yep.
Michael Thomas, our wide receiver, is questionable. And so is our latest pickup, Xavier Williams, on the defensive line. So pretty much every guy we've signed in the past 3 weeks is got a 50-50 chance to play against Washington.
Except Spain. Spain's probably going to play. And I read something about you posted on Bengals Nation that if Bobby Hart doesn't play, which I know he's questionable, I think, that Spain might be at right tackle, which would be his third different position he's played. And he's played all of them pretty well, too.
And so,
I think he's been a really good pickup for us.
Mm-hmm.
Crown says foot ankle injuries are no joke. Yeah, especially to a running back. I mean, especially really to anybody. But running backs, those are very hard to get over. Now, one thing I will say, we'll get back to what you're saying before, our defense and how I think we need to get pressure on the quarterback as always. That'll help, in the passing game and everything. People want to get rid of Zach or whatever. My preference right now is to keep Zach and to change out Armadillo. I just think we had 2 years of this. They completely changed, supposedly completely changed from a 3-4 to 4-3 or vice versa. I don't remember which way it was, which doesn't really matter because he kind of plays zone and man to man. And we're not there to make. We're there to make plays sometimes, but the players just aren't. And there's too many games this year where how many games we lost? If we made a play on defense, we would have won. Indianapolis being one of the biggest ones, and so that's where I'm more of, if you want to change something, that's the direction I would go. Because offensively, we've been really good. I mean, T. Higgins I don't know if he won the rookie of the week or not. I haven't heard anything. I'm assuming he's going to, but I don't know.
Should.
I mean, he's the first Bengal rookie wide receiver to post a 100-yard plus game against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh. That's pretty good. They beat us all the time. I mean, Joe Burrow has thrown for 300 yards, 400 yards. I mean, this is with our crappy offensive line. Right. And that's Zach running the offense. So the part of the ball that he's in charge of mostly, they look better than the defense. So that's another reason where I just have a problem where people always blame Zach. And I'm not saying Zach is going to take us to the Super Bowl. I'm not saying he's the next boy genius. I don't know. I'm just saying I don't think he's the problem. And another thing, I'll get back to the Carlos Dunlap thing, which is just stuff that people keep saying about Zach, and it's driving me nuts. That Zach doesn't do this. He lets players walk all over him. Bull crap. No, he doesn't. Carlos Dunlap didn't play because he wasn't playing good. I mean, how many times has Redmond gotten pulled out? How many times has Bobby Hart gotten pulled out? Ross can't see the field because he can't play. So right. The stuff that people keep saying about Zach is not true. If you actually look at the facts of what he's done, he's doing everything that everybody complains about. My biggest issue is the running game. I would like, as far as the offense go, I wish that was a little more efficient, but I also think that has a lot to do with, Mixon being gone for, this will be the fourth game.
Yeah.
5 weeks counting the bye week, but the fourth game. So that's the issue that I'm having with Bengals fans and just what the talk is on Bengals Nation and stuff like that. It's just everybody always wants to blame something else. And people, I'm not sure. I'm very optimistic, and I was kind of tongue-in-cheek at the beginning of the year saying we're going to go 10-6 or whatever I said. But I really thought it would be 8-8. But if anybody actually really believed that we would go to the playoffs with our historically bad defense from 2 years ago, which they improved a little bit, our patchwork offensive line, which we all knew wasn't very good, Joe Burrow is great. Joe Burrow is great, but he can't fix everything. Football is the most team-oriented sport there is. And if you're not all pulling on the rope in the same direction, you're not going to get the same results. And we got to along with that, you got to have better players. And that's where I think when we played the Ratbirds, when we played the Squealers, they have better players, a lot better players than we do in multiple positions. And I don't know how many times have you seen, Phil Jackson, he's considered one of the greatest NBA basketball coaches ever. Well, he also had 4 Hall of Famers. He had Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant. If he doesn't have those, is he the greatest coach ever? He was able to, get them all to mesh and play together. So that part's good, but you got to have the players. So I don't know. Sorry, that's I went off a little bit there. It's just stuff I've been seeing. I'm just getting tired of it.
And I know what you're getting at. And I think I sent you a clip of Mike Zimmer about 5 years ago in the huddle with his defense. Just beep, 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 beep. You beep and beep. Why the beep did you beep and beep? And, it made me think maybe something like that is what is missing in Cincinnati. I don't know. Zach Taylor's a low-key guy, I guess him and Carlos kind of got into a little scuffle, that kind of thing,
Right.
in the locker room. But you can tell by his press conferences, he's not exactly a Zimmer fiery coach,
No.
So it just makes me think, maybe if we had somebody like a Zimmer or something where our players would react,
Right.
respect, react, no, this guy ain't playing, or I'm going to be sitting on the bench. That to me makes me think maybe we can do something.
Are you talking more about Zach, or are you talking more about Armadillo?
I'm talking about. I'm talking about Lou. Yeah.
Okay.
I think he is just not the right fit in Cincinnati. You watch Zimmer on that defense, and you screw up on that defense. You come
right.
You could watch the players.
Yeah.
If they gave up a touchdown, they would try to skip up into the stands around from Mike Zimmer. Okay, they don't want none of it.
Right.
And I think maybe some of that fire's needed.
Yeah. I mean, I that's where I think Zach, he doesn't come across as having the fire, cussing somebody out, which maybe he does. I have no idea. But the action of sitting guys and pulling them out of the game,
he's done it.
Does the same thing. I mean, it's all about playing time. If you're not playing, that's what Carlos Dunlap. Well, that's when he started crying. He wasn't playing. Oh, I'm only playing on third down. Like, well, you should have produced. If you would have shut up and played football and produced, you'd have been out there playing. But yeah, I agree with that. I just the whole thing with Armadillo and just it seems like he plays zone when he needs to play man. He plays man when he needs to play zone. We can't figure out how to get pressure on the quarterback. We can't. I mean, it's so inconsistent,
Yeah.
And that's the biggest problem I had. And people are like, well, Zach does that. Like, no. We're pretty consistent as far as our passing game and our running game, which hasn't been what I've hoped it to be, but it's still there. It's not as good as I want it to be. I'm hoping it'll get better. But Zach's been very consistent in what he's done. Now, the whole fake punt that somehow we all missed on the game, that I don't understand. That was kind of weird, but other than that, that's kind of where I'm at. All right, Landon's got something here. So we were talking about this on a pre-show fist fight that Tariq failed his physical. Now, again, Bengals Nation went nuts. Oh, he failed his physical because he didn't want to play for the Bengals, and he did this because he didn't want to play for – dude, he failed his physical for the 49ers. So it had nothing to do with not wanting to play with the Bengals or any of this other stuff that you guys believe.
Dude's lazy, okay? He didn't come here to take a physical just to blow it. He didn't spend $500 on a plane ticket from where the hell he's from to come blow. Then he flew out west and he done the same thing. So is that somebody you want on your team? No. On him with tack or whatever.
Yeah. Excuse me. Dennis, I believe you're 100% right, Jeremy, on your guarantee.
Oh, all right. Well, I don't make many of them, but I got a good feeling. I mean, I look at it this way. Alex Smith, man, and I like the dude. And what happened to him was literally life-threatening.
Oh, yeah.
And, it's just – but when you look at when he's been in there, he's throwing at a decent percentage, but they're all low percentage throws. He's got 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. He's threw for 750 yards in the 3 games that, he's been in there. We do need to watch for Terry McLaughlin. He is a tough dude. And they're averaging about 7.4 yards per reception. So they can put it on you with Terry McLaughlin. That's something we're going to need to, be aware of. But if we can't blitz Alex Smith.
Yeah. Because he can't move.
Exactly.
He literally can't move. Yeah.
Literally. And if our defense can't literally sack him, get to him, fluster him, cause turnovers, and of course, I believe our offense is going to put up 20, probably 7 points.
Right.
That's winning the game. That's how we should be winning the game.
Right.
And one of my 3 keys of this game was we have nothing left to lose. We are 2-6-1.
Yep.
So
go for
fake
it.
punts, trick plays. I don't care. I don't care if we don't get them, but let's try to win. Fourth and 2 down on their 40. Go for it. Don't kick a field goal. Go for it, and let's try to get it in the end zone. Let's win the game. We've got nothing left to lose.
Now, one thing I'll say, I don't think I said this yet. I think I told you on the pre-show fist fight, but when you said the fourth down, did I say this already on the show about the fourth down conversions? Anyway, I'll say it again. I don't know.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Anyway, the 14 fourth down conversions by the Bengals are the most in the NFL this season. Now, the Bengals need 6 more fourth down conversions to tie the record of 20 by the 1996 Chicago Bears. So, I mean, that goes to your point. Go for it. We got a shot to win this thing. Go for it. And another thing I bring up, hopefully AJ Green will have a breakout game this game, because in 2 career games versus Washington, AJ has has 304 receiving yards, and that's an average of 16.9 yards per catch.
Wow.
So he has dominated Washington. So I really think they need to get him going, because trust me, he knows. Right. He knows what he's done against. He might not know all the stats, but he knows he plays good against them. So, all right, we got some questions rolling in here. Dennis, I believe we need some kind of defensive fury defensive coach. Yeah. I just think we need a coach who's consistent and the guys can play, If you cuss them out, everybody gets on this big rant about cussing guys out and all this stuff. If he can coach them up, he can coach them up. I don't care if he hugs them, as long as he can coach them up and they can play, all this cussing and everybody out, that's a lot of show, I think, but it is effective. I mean, I'm not saying you have to have that, but I just want a defensive coach who can be consistent and work with what he has. And I think Armadillo isn't working with his strengths, which the strengths of his team to me is the secondary. Yeah, Jesse Bates, one of the best safeties in the league. I think there should be more of that, and you can do safety blitzes and cover 2 or whatever with him. There's a lot of things you could try and do, but I don't know. I can't figure out what his plan is.
Well, my thing, the clip I sent you of Zimmer, it wasn't exactly just him cussing everybody out, but if you notice the years he was here for defense,
we were good.
He knew the players.
Yes.
He knew who could handle it,
yes.
who he needed to treat.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So that's like he was going around just
yelling at everybody, right?
Mother effer,
right.
You suck. You say,
yeah.
But he knew his players, and that's why we played so well.
Yeah, and the thing is, he identified the leaders on the defense, which
exactly.
Unfortunately, there are 2 crazy guys. They're Pac-Man and Perfect, but that's what he had to work with. So he they were the leaders of the defense, and I can't tell you, who the leader of the defense is. Jesse Bates is who I would say, but I don't. Other than that, who? It's not really
everybody's new and young and rookies, and Jesse Bates would have to be him or Willie Jackson III, and I read an article on, I think, Bengals Nation talking about who still wants Willie Jackson III, and I'm thinking, are you kidding me? I mean, right here, we give this guy away.
Yeah.
Would I rather him be a solid 2? Maybe, but this kid, are you kidding? And if you're on here watching, I made a comment. Feel free to jump on and comment back, because I would love to know why in hell anybody would want to get rid of Willie Jackson III right now and see what we could get for him while we have that's one of our injuries that I believe will be playing this week is the big, the bad, the tough LaShawn Sims.
There you go.
So, so the free agent rookie should be starting again this week instead of Tony Brown, who started last week. So yeah, I forgot about him. He should be back. But back to Willie Jackson III. Give me a break. I mean, I'm sure 98% of you guys watching or will watch know that that's just insane. You can't. We've talked about this over and over and over. You can't keep getting rid of players. Period.
Right.
You can't.
Yeah.
And then they succeed when they leave. You cannot keep going. Right?
You got to keep, and I've said this before, you got to keep the good players. It's not that we have all bad players. We have good players. A lot of them on defense, especially, are injured. So, I mean, that's another thing you could kind of say toward Armadillo. He's had a lot of injuries to deal with, but I like here, who said it? Crown. I mean, he said we couldn't even get to Old Man Rivers. And I agree with it. And that was one I said, we got to get to him. And we let him stand back there and just make pass after pass after pass. And we kept playing zone. And I'm like, on the TV, like, why? I mean, why are we backing off? That doesn't make any sense to me. That's a game we should have won. There's no reason we should have lost that game. We're up, 21 points?
Yeah.
And that's go get them. I mean, it's just like the Steelers last week when they started sacking Joe in the fourth quarter. They pinned their ears back and went after him. When you have a 21-point lead, you go after them. You don't go, oh, okay, I don't want to make a mistake.
We're going to play safe.
Yeah, Marvin Lewis would do that so many times. It would drive me freaking nuts.
People forget about it. They forget about that, too. A lot of people forget about that. Oh, you Marvin Lewis people posting on Bengals Nation and everywhere else that you forget what Jeff's telling you right now. That is the truth.
He would play not to lose. And I hated that. I'm just it was just so aggravating. And that's what I think that we did in that Colts game. We played not to lose, not to make a mistake. And it's just like, I'll say this when I said this on yesterday's little 2-cent rant, that people are some people were saying, or earlier this week I said this. Anyway, people are saying that you should have taken Joe Burrow out because, he might get injured. If you coach like you're scared, like the guy's going to get injured, then you're going to play like that. You can't coach. You can't play like you're scared. You can't play like you don't want to make a mistake to lose. You have to coach to win. You have to play to win, which most times being aggressive and going after them. That's
I'm with you there. About 70%, 75%, I would say. I want Burrow to play. I want him to get his reps. But when you're down that much with only one possession or two to go, that didn't sit too well with me. But Burrow's still standing on 2 feet.
Yeah.
He's not in the hospital. He's not sitting on the bench. He's not rehabbing.
Nope.
He's a tough kid. So let him play.
All right. We're getting some questions here. Let's see, landed. Can't wait to watch the Bengals and the Dolphins game. Rookie versus rookie. Everybody will probably pick stupid Dolphins to win, probably, because they are the new darlings of the NFL right now since Tua has taken over. Titus, that they rushed from Atlanta did not work. The guy, he failed his physical and he failed it in the 49ers too. So,
and just add on to that Tua thing real quick.
Yeah.
Okay. Tua's played, 3 games. He's won 3 games. Good for Tua. He hasn't started all 3 games, but he did come in and he started 2. He's got 519 yards. He got 5 touchdowns, which is pretty impressive. And if he wins again this week, it'll be a record for a rookie winning 4 games in a row, which is pretty impressive. But Tua started too late because it's too late for Tua, okay? Because you're going to take guys like Burrow, who's leading all of them in passing yards with 2,500 yards,
right?
12 touchdowns. I mean, the guy's ranked 10th in the NFL. If you look up quarterbacks in the NFL. He's ranked
Right.
10th in the NFL. He's only going to get better, especially after this week.
Right.
Other than their defensive line's pretty solid from what I'm.
They got a bunch of number ones on you talk about Washington, right?
Yeah.
They got a bunch of number ones and Chase Young. So,
yeah,
they're
pretty
going to
solid.
step up. Yeah, offensive line's going to have to step up for sure.
Oh, definitely. But on the back end,
the last couple games. I mean, sorry, go ahead.
They have. Oh, yeah, exactly. They have. And on the back end, we should be able to make them pay. We should.
Now I got another thing that I talked about. How much yardage AJ Green had against Washington. Now T Higgins just coming off 100-yard receiving, first time for a rookie of the Bengals against the Squealers. Now T Higgins is second among rookie wide receiver with 603 receiving yards and fourth in TDs. Now Higgins on pace to break nearly every Bengals rookie receiving record. So we got a good one, I think. Well, we got a good three there. I think if you get AJ going, you get AJ, Boyd, and Higgins going, they're hard to stop when they're rolling, So, and hopefully Joe won't have to deal with 100-mile-an-hour winds in his face. Now, I know Big Ben was able to do it, but also Joe Burrow, like I said, the only two teams that made him look like a rookie were the Ratbirds and the Squealers. There's a reason they're really good. So there's a very good chance. I really think this game is not going to be close. I really do think the Bengals are going to come in and blow them. I can see us getting out to a 21-point lead like we did against Indy, but I'm worried because Armadillo hopefully won't play zone and we'll go after him, but you got to get pressure on him somehow. That's a huge thing. They got to get pressure on him.
Yeah. Lou is the reason why I don't have us blowing. I think I told you, I may have messaged you a little earlier about it, but I think we're going to win pretty handedly, 10, 13 points, something like that. It should be more 14, 17, 21, but I just don't know we don't know what we're getting each week when it comes to offensive line, the whole defense. Right. We don't know what we're getting, so it's kind of hard to guess.
Yeah, hopefully Jonah, I think, should be back this week. Jonah Williams.
Yeah.
I think he's practiced all week, or at least most of the week. So I think he's back. Seraphilia, he hasn't practiced at all. So he's able to practice, but he hasn't practiced at all.
And T. Higgins, you guys may see him on the injury report too, but he's got an illness. So
yeah, that's all we know. So hopefully,
not a big issue. Should be back Sunday, I'm guessing.
Yeah, but I mean, we're constantly talking about the offensive line, and beginning of the year was like, these guys aren't that good. Should Fred Johnson play over Bobby Hart? Yada yada yada. Now it's who's playing because every week it's somebody different. I mean, like I said, Spain. We've picked him up, a month ago? And if he plays at right tackle, which it sounds like he might, that'll be his third different position he's played on the offensive line since he's been here. So
exactly. Yeah. And I mentioned that on a comment, I believe, on Bengals Nation. People were talking about, Spain and Adeniji and this Xavier Ciafilo. Let me tell you something. And I'm crossing my fingers here, but if 2 out of the 3 of those guys succeed and mark their stamp as a starter, that's 2 players in free agency, in the draft, and whatever that we're gonna get.
Mm-hmm.
And we found these guys just sitting on their couch. Am I saying that they're going to keep this up? Hell no. Right. But if they do, what a blessing for the Bengals, because then you go from drafting for what you need to drafting the best players.
Right. I got a question here from a Facebook user. So if you're on Facebook and you want your name to pop up, go to yada yada. Go to YouTube, Sports Strawberry Ice, and comment there, and we'll see your name. But is this system that Taylor is trying to implement not a good fit for AJ? If that is not the issue, then why hasn't AJ gotten
going. I don't look. It's a pass happy offense, so I don't know why it wouldn't be a good fit for AJ. The bigger issue I think is, especially beginning of the year, AJ was hurt. He hadn't really played in 2 years.
Right.
I don't have I really don't have a better answer for you. T. Higgins is doing good. Boyd's doing good. The thing is, I think there's more options, and Andy Dalton would lock in on AJ. He would really look for AJ a lot. And I think Burrow looks for who's open. So, and you got to remember, AJ is still getting double teamed. He's also getting older, so he might be having a hard time getting open as easily as he did before, because 2 years of injuries. He's getting older, and like I said, we got Higgins, we got Boyd. So if you guys look at the passing stats when he's had these 300, 400-yard games, Burrow spreads the ball out a ton. So it's not just to one player or the other. So I think that's my explanation. That's the best explanation I can give you as to why AJ has not been the AJ that we're used to. So hopefully, like I said, he had 300 or 600 and something yards, like career-wise, against Washington. So he has a very good chance of doing that again. And then we got Higgins coming off the first Bengals rookie to ever have 100 yards receiving against Pittsburgh. So there's a lot of good stuff going on as far as that and rolling into the Washington game. So like I said, I think we got a good shot at winning, but we'll find out. Now, I talked about Jesse Bates earlier, who I think is becoming, I'd say, top 5, maybe top 3 safety in the league. But Jesse Bates was named to the Pro Football Focus Week 10 Team of the Week. Now, Bates leads all safeties with 12 passes defended, and that is 4th best in the league. One more thing about Bates here. Bates has also been named to the Pro Football Focus midseason and NFL All-Pro team and the Pro Football Focus top 25 players under the age of 25. So there's a lot of good stuff with Jesse Bates. And hey, Jeremy, what's up? Your Alabama internet doesn't like you
every time. Go ahead, keep going though, man.
No, but yeah, that's where I'm at. Jesse Bates, to me, has been the best player on the Bengals defense. He's the guy that I think is your leader, the guy that should be the mouthpiece of the defense. Follow me, because you see how he's playing. He's balling out. So I was here. Got a question or a comment from Dennis here. Hey, Jeremy Dean, when the season is over, is there any good offensive line that the Bengals can get in free agent when the draft? Can they draft? They can draft for one. I don't know any free agents. He asked you, Jerry. Do you know? I don't know what the free agents are, honestly.
We're talking free agents or draft?
He said free agents, and then hold on, let me bring it up again. He said when the season's over, is there any good offensive line that the Bengals can get in free agency, and then also draft?
And then draft.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the guy for Oregon is the one everybody keeps talking about trying to draft.
Yeah. It's all going to depend on where we are. I think personally, Dennis, draft-wise, personally, me, I would rather, if we're third, move back, take more picks, take higher picks, or take like you're talking about, an offensive lineman.
Yeah.
And, yes, I believe there will be quite a few offensive linemen out there next year that the certain teams, just like right here, and you saw it with Dunlap, you see it with everybody, teams are going to let good players go because they don't want to spend the money and they want to add or do different, move a different way, whatever. But, yes, I think there will be some very solid free agents, and I believe we'll also have some solid offensive linemen all the way through round 3 in the draft. My opinion,
especially
as a guard.
I agree with you. I mean, the thing is, my personal opinion, I think they need right tackle. That's where I think they need the biggest thing. If you get that, I mean, from what I've seen of Spain, I think Spain could be your starting guard, left or right next year. I mean, obviously, and then you got a Denajai, who it's a very short sample, but from what I've seen of him, I think he's another one that could be a guard. That's two, and then you already got Hopkins and you got Jonah Williams. So if they can get the tackle, I assume he's a tackle out of Oregon. I wish I knew. I don't even know his name. People have said it on here. Yeah. I've never watched the man play. I don't watch Oregon football a whole lot, and he's not playing this year, so which kills me. I want to watch him play now. If you can get him or somebody else as your right tackle, and they can stay healthy, your offensive line could be pretty much fixed. Yes. I think. And so, but
without a bunch of in and out and right. Doing all this and that, if the offensive line can get fixed to the point of 4 players, and we've literally, which by the end of the year we should know what we got.
Yeah.
And so when you go from the beginning of the year, we were horrible. The whole offensive line looked like they needed gone.
Right.
And now we're talking about maybe 1 or 2 linemen that we may need, because these guys have come in and played so solid. So we'll see how they play the rest of the year, and then just let it work itself out. Worst case scenario, we get that right tackle, and just pray, that he ends up working out better than the tackles that we've taken recently.
Yeah. Well, I'll throw it back at you. The last 2 offensive linemen we've drafted are probably going to start Sunday, and that's Jonah Williams and Adenijai, and they've both been very good so far when they played. So, I mean, the other thing you were saying about we're going to find out about the guys, which we've found out about a lot of guys this year. So that's another optimistic thing. You can look at all the injuries. I mean, like, we know Billy Price can be a good backup. He's not a starter. We know Redmond can be a good backup. He's not a starter. I think Bobby Hart is a good backup, not a starter. So, but I do think Spain and Adenijai, I think they are starters. So if you get a right tackle, then the guys behind them have gotten a lot of playing time. So if somebody does get injured, I'm more confident they can come in and play and not really miss a beat. Now, you can't have 4 out of the 5 offensive linemen miss a game. That's a different thing. But if you have 1 or 2, and that's the thing that good teams have. When you have injuries, you have guys behind them who can plug and play. And that's one good thing about having all these injuries this year. We're going to find out who can play,
Yeah, that's exactly right. And that's going to save us, or add us, I guess you could say, more players in draft and free agency than having to replace these guys. So if we do find that diamond in the rough, maybe Spain, maybe Adenijai, I don't know. But if we do, that adds just more fuel to the Cincinnati Fire, baby.
Right. All right, Dennis got another question here. Hey, guys, is Mike Brown going to keep spending money because he already spent money on other people? I think he might, but I'd like to know what you guys think. I say yes, because he spent money at offseason, and he's still spending money. He spent and got Spain. He tried to get Tariq. He tried to get Xavier, who's hurt now. Xavier Williams, we got him. We signed Mike Daniels right before the season started. I mean, so I don't know about Baker. Have you heard anything about Baker, the cornerback? Because everybody was talking about that guy Monday.
He went to not Cincinnati.
No,
anyway, he did go somewhere. Yeah, okay. He went somewhere else. I can't. Oh man, 49ers, something like. I guess my point is, Dennis. Yes, I think he's going to, because it hasn't stopped during the season. Like I said, I've said this before on other shows. I've never seen this many players from other teams that we actually had to sign and spend money to bring in here more this year than ever. Yeah, everybody's hurt. I mean, You got to bring
in, but at least we're trying. I mean,
yeah,
I can't remember. I cannot remember what year this was. I think it was a playoff year. Maybe it was the year we went. The first year we went 3-13. Somebody on the offensive line got hurt. I can't remember who it was. And Kurt Scrafford or something like that was the guy's name, and he was our backup. And they just kind of like pulled him off the street. This is when Mike Brown first took over or whatever. That's who Mike Brown had to replace. And it might have been Anthony Munoz. I don't remember, but I just remember going, who in the hell is this guy? But so that's where I think Mike Brown and the Brown family have changed, where they're not just bringing anybody off the street. They're actually trying to get the legit NFL players in here. So,
yeah. Yep, that's right.
Dennis is on fire here. Let's see here. All right. Do you both think, in your personal opinion, do you think Ben was off selling gummy bears next year? Are they going to kick ass and take names? Do you both think, your personal opinion, think Ben, you talking about Ben Roethlisberger, was often selling gummy bears next year? I don't know. I don't know what you're trying to say, Dennis.
Well, the only thing I can guess is, are you saying, do you think Ben may have a down year next year and be off just kind of selling gummy bears rather than being very good, or is he going to kick ass and take names?
Yeah,
that's my best guess.
Yeah,
and
if that's it, I have no idea. He's playing pretty good right now.
But yeah, and you know, one thing about it, the Steelers wanted to run their mouth during that week and all that kind of thing. But Ben does not have that much time left. So,
shoot, they're running their mouth afterwards. I'm like,
yeah,
you guys, geez, I want to shut them up so bad.
When Mason Rudolph was in there, what happened? When the other Hodges was in there, what happened?
Duck. Well, yeah, Duck was a quarterback too last year.
Exactly. Wait till Ben's gone.
You're right. Okay? Exactly.
It's not so easy to find a quarterback. Welcome to Cincinnati.
Exactly. Okay. He's okay. Dennis has got some else here. Oh, I meant the Bengals offensive line. I'm sorry. What are you thinking? Are we going to kick ass next year? Yes. If they fix the offensive line, I think we're going to kick ass next year. If that's what you mean, Dennis. Yeah. I mean, from, like I said, to me, two huge things happened this year as far as the offensive line go. We signed Spain, and I think Spain, I said this before, can be our starting guard left or right next year. And Adeniji has finally gotten some playing time. And that's one good thing about these injuries. Adeniji, I kept calling for him. You know, I'm like, why don't they try him at guard or tackle or whatever? And they wouldn't play him. So finally, Hart and Johnson both got hurt, and they had to play him, and he stepped up. So I mean, I think, like I said, I think those two could be your guards moving forward. Nothing against Michael Jordan, but I think Spain and Adeniji have played good, and it could be a battle in the in the preseason next year between those three, and those are always good. You always want competition and battles and all that. And if you get number one draft pick as a right tackle, it could be good. But the other thing is the Bengals have got to get a pass rusher. I think there's two things that I think in this draft, which I know it's not for a while, but people always ask my opinion about the draft. Two things the Bengals have got to address in the offseason, either draft or free agency: right tackle and pass rush. You got to get pressure on that quarterback somehow. That'll change a lot of stuff. If we got consistent pressure on these quarterbacks we played against, I think we would have won a lot more games.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it literally comes down to that. And if we end up getting the first pick,
we're not getting the first pick.
I pray to God we don't.
The Jets are getting the first pick.
Well, yeah, maybe. We'll find out Sunday. Let's put it that way. Because if we
you just guaranteed a win. That'll be 3 wins. The Jets haven't won a game yet.
If my Bengals let me down after throwing my heart out there, then I'm going to say we need to blow the draft up and get as many players as we can in the top 4 5 rounds and see what we can get,
Right.
and also play around in free agency. But like I said, I'm optimistic about this game. I'm optimistic about Adeniji, even though it's very small.
Very
I'm
small.
not. Yeah, I'm not getting.
I'm
that
not saying he's
excited.
definitely going to start, but the small sample size I've seen, I like it a lot.
Yes, me too. And like we asked for the last 7 weeks, where the hell's he been?
Right.
You know, so we may have some diamonds in the rough where we don't have to waste all of our draft
Right.
picks
Right.
and all of our money on offensive linemen.
Right. Exactly. That's the good. That's what I said. That's a good thing about what has happened this year. We found out who can play and who can't play.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we're definitely going to find out even more people because the season's not. It's only half over. We got
That's right.
November, December. You know, we still got a ways to go. So it's not over. And I'm telling you, I really do. And you guaranteed the game Sunday. I think there's a lot of winnable games here. I mean, but my fear is we got to get the defense to make plays at the right time because I really do think the offense will. I mean, I think Joe Burrow will get us leads in these games against the Jets, against Washington. Miami, it's going to be a little more difficult than I thought it would be. But every game you play against an NFL team is tough. They're not supposed to be easy. So
Right.
I really do think there's a lot of winnable games out there. And I think this could build momentum rolling into next year. And if we can freaking stay healthy and not have so many daggone injuries this year or next year, we could turn into something. And the thing is, all the Bengals really have to do, making the jump to where the Squealers and the Ratbirds are is huge. I don't know if they'll get there or not, but it's very reachable to get to where the Browns are because the Browns are competitive with those two teams. And that's all you really got to be. You got to be competitive. I want to be better than them. Don't get me wrong. I want to be better than them. But you got to take baby steps. It doesn't happen overnight. To be a consistent winner, it doesn't. So if you get to the point where you're with the Browns and you're competitive with the Ratbirds and the Squealers, you got a chance to beat them.
Yeah.
And that's where the Bengals have got to get to next year. And I really do think if we get the defense figured out, we can win a lot of these games going down the stretch. I really do believe that. Call me a homer. That's fine. Whatever.
Sorry.
But this guy over here, he's a homer too. He just guaranteed a win. So
I did. And even though my boy Dwayne Haskins got the raw end of the deal, I still think, I wish he would have went somewhere else. He really didn't get much of a chance.
What's up with that? Why are they giving up on him so much?
I don't know. They gave up on him so fast.
Yeah.
And he got drafted, and then the new coach come in, and that's
I don't think Gruden ever wanted him. I think that was one of the biggest things. And the owner wanted him.
Exactly. Then Rivera come in, and he didn't have time to mess around with a second year played however many games the year before quarterback. He had to win soon or he wasn't going to have a job much longer.
Right.
But that's what excited me the most. I was hoping to see Haskins play against his old workout buddy and fighting against buddy Joe Burrow at Ohio State. And then now we get Alex Smith. But it is what it is.
Yeah. All right. Crown's got a question for you, Jeremy.
How bad is Ohio State going to beat Indiana? Oh, man. I tell you what.
He's worried about it.
I tell you what.
He's not guaranteeing that game.
You know what? If I hadn't watched Indiana play.
Yeah, against Penn State.
Yeah. Or any game, actually, they play pretty damn solid.
Right.
I would probably say like 52-10 or 42-10, something like that. I just hope we win by about 2 touchdowns, and I'll be happy to get the hell out of there.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I think this is going to be a very good weekend just for Ohio football teams in general, because if we're talking about the Ohio State Buckeyes, you got to talk about my Bearcats. They're playing at 3:30 versus Central Florida. This should be their toughest game of the year, but I've said that for a lot of them, and we've blown everybody out.
Yeah,
but the thing is, the Bearcats, we got to go in there. We got to kick their ass, blow them out, and see what happens. But I think Ohio football. I think the Bearcats can win. I think Ohio State can win. I definitely think the Bengals can win. So I think the Bearcats and the Buckeyes got a little tougher thing than the Bengals do. But if the Bengals don't show up and just think they can roll their football helmets out there and win, they're gonna get their ass kicked and go home.
Exactly.
So
that's simple.
Alrighty. Well, I think it's almost 6:30. I think I want to start rolling on out of here, Jeremy. Let's get to the Facebook groups that we help run. They are Bengals Nation, Bearcats Country, Reds Country, and Cyclones Country. And as always, I'll be putting this up on the podcast later. Make sure you guys like, rate, and review. Give us a 5-star review. We would both greatly appreciate that. And then follow me on all my social media platforms under Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And like I said, we finally hit 700 on YouTube. We're at 703 to be exact. So we're getting it rolling. Try to get to 800. You're like, you're never happy. You want this? Like, hey, let's get more and more people on the show. So Jeremy Dean, if you don't mind doing the honor, sir, and getting us out of here.
I sure will. And we will be happy once we hit 1 million members.
Yeah.
Until then, we're still going to keep telling you guys to tell your friends and family about it. So,
right.
I did guarantee the win Sunday.
You did.
And which means I need to get my pen and get it ready and get the ink in it and get everything ready for the nice little win poem. That
we're marking the tape. Tape poem for a win.
Mark it down. I'll have one.
You guys out there, we said if they win, you guys can do one too, because that was kind of fun the other day when that happened.
Yeah, definitely. I want everybody to do one, and I think it's a blast. I have fun doing it. I wish I would have done a few more by now, but it is what it is.
Exactly.
But anyway, guys, we are getting out of here, and as always, I wanted to remind you of one thing. You don't live in Cleveland. You live in Cincinnati. Keep watching. Who Day? Jeff?
Yeah?
You the man, my brother. Just wanted to let you know that. Just wanted to give you love.
Okay, thanks, bro. You caught me off guard there.
Just wanted to give you love. Yeah.
All right, on that note, Who Day? And that's just sports, baby. See ya!